Hi, hi, hi. Hello and welcome, self-lovers. It's Katie Phillips here. Most of you know me who are in this space. Obviously, that's why we're here together. I'm the founder of the School of Self-Love. I wrote this book, and some of you know the book, The Self-Love Affair, A Woman's Guide to a Daring and Mighty Life. And actually, quite a few of you have been following me week by week by week through this book. We've got to be 18 odd weeks in, I think now. But you've been following me through chapter by chapter. I feel like I'm kind of running some kind of book club, actually, every week, doing a Facebook Live, teaching a chapter from this book. But I've got to tell you, I feel a little bit discombobulated. I quite like that word. A little out of touch today because I didn't speak to you guys last week. I actually missed a week, which has kind of thrown me. In fact, it wasn't even last week. It was the week before as well. I haven't spoken to you. I haven't done a lesson for 2 weeks. I can see some of you are joining. Let me know when you've joined. Let me know who you are and where you're joining in from. That would be wonderful. But yeah, I haven't done a lesson for 2 weeks. And it feels really strange, actually, because it's become part of my weekly routine. I really have been enjoying connecting with you guys. I love teaching the lessons from this book. I love the opportunity to read the book again. I'm just now, before coming on this call, I'm reading the chapter called Daring Desires. It's page 182 if you're following through the book. And I just read it and it's just so beautiful. Hello, hello. Now, just so you guys know, when you comment on Be Live, I'm using Be Live technology for my Facebook Lives. There's something quite weird going on between Be Live and Facebook where, and I think it's all to do with this GDPR, like privacy policy thing. I don't know who you are when you comment. So I've just had somebody say, hi, Katie, kiss, kiss, but I don't know who that is because it doesn't show up your name or your photo. It's really frustrating. So maybe if you could just let me know who that was that said that so I know who I'm talking to, that would be great. A bit hard to do an interactive Facebook Live when I don't know who I'm talking to. So this technology is a little bit disappointing at the moment. But we'll work it out, I'm sure. So I can see more viewers joining. And as you're joining, please let me know who you are. Actually say your name for me because like I just said, it's not showing it up for me. Yeah, so I was just saying as well that doing these weekly trainings has been a chance for me to read my own book. And reading this chapter, Daring Desires, is so beautiful. Helen, hello, Helen. Great to see you. It's so beautiful. There's just, if I do say so myself, I know I wrote it. But there really are some wonderful lines in here. And I'm reading it going, oh, did I write that? Hi, Jean. Good to have you back. Woohoo. Yeah, did I write that? And the truth is, a lot of this book, as much as it is an intellectual piece of work, it's a very deeply spiritual piece of work. And there's so many chunks in here. When I read back, I know that it didn't come from my brain. It totally came from my truth, from my spiritual self. Some would say, therefore, it has been channeled, either from my spirit or from source energy. Like it's a message that needs sharing. And so it has come through me. It is not of me. It is not me. It's come through me. And so I often will read back passages and think, wow, that's real pure wisdom right there. And not because I walk around thinking I'm particularly wise, but because it's information that came through me. Katie, hi, Katie, it's Fee. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hello, Fee. Good to have you. Beautiful. So yeah, it's rather lovely actually to read back. And I'm very aware that we have actually skipped a whole lesson. So the week before last, I was really unwell. It's very rare that I get as unwell as I was. But 2 weeks ago, I came down with a pretty horrid chest infection. And it was really interesting. I don't think there's any coincidences. I absolutely believe that any kind of illness or disease in our body has some relationship to either something within us that's sabotaging us that we've not been paying attention to, usually an emotional piece that hasn't been paid attention to, becomes a physical manifestation because that's the way your body says, hey, you've got to deal with this. I'm a big believer in the mind, emotion, body connection. But But on this occasion, I was really checking it out, and it was interesting. I think it was less communication from my body saying there's something that I have to emotionally heal, and more about an energetic clearing so that I can go to my next level with something. And there's no surprises that last week I was doing a interview series. Jean was on it every day. She was awesome. And last week I ran 17 live interviews called My Menopause, an interview series all about menopause. And it was amazing. Amazing. I'm still buzzing from it. I'm still a little bit tired. It was quite tiring. You can imagine 17 full live interviews. I think that must be Jean saying it was fantastic. Thank you, Jean. That's awesome. Thank you. I've had so much incredible feedback. I haven't even got to respond to everybody yet. I'm going to be in catch-up mode this week. It was an amazing, amazing series, but it really called me to go to my own next level in terms of speaking, in terms of really claiming my own expertise and what I'm about, really taking a stand for self-love in a whole new arena. Really finding my voice. I had to use my voice last week, all week, for hours and hours live. I had to really concentrate. I had to be very present and absolutely needed my voice. And so the week before, I pretty much lost my voice. I had a terrible cough. I was in a lot of pain. It was like a flu. I couldn't get out of bed. I never, ever, I'm so sick that I need to stay in bed. So it was a massive clearing. And I actually had a call with one of the experts from the interview series the week that I was in bed. And I said to her, I need some guidance here. What do you think? You know, what's going on for me? And she's a healer and a Reiki master and all sorts of things, and works with energy a lot. And she confirmed, she's like, you need your voice next week. And that part of your body is clearing so that energetically you can speak on a whole other level. And that's what happened. It's pretty amazing. So I really thank you guys for allowing me to skip not just the week of teaching where I was unwell, but I skipped last week as well because I was doing the interview series. So thank you for your patience. Thanks for coming back for more lessons. It's really good to be back with you, and it does feel weird to have had 2 weeks out. But, you know, we're always going to our next level. And really, that's kind of what today's training is about. This chapter is called Daring Desires. This is where I am calling you to rise. I'm asking you and inviting you to really dream big and really start moving into the next level of your life and claiming that. And as I just explained, as you're going to your next level, you might have some breakdowns before your breakthroughs. Mine was a physical breakdown before my breakthrough to my next level last week. You might experience the same. So I guess just a little word of warning, just to keep an eye out, just notice with a lot of self-love, a lot of self-compassion, a lot of self-understanding, that when you tune into your desires and what you want and really go for it, you might have some work to do to take you to your next level, right? Because we're here and we want to be here. The distance between the two is often going to require us to transform on some level, whether it's a physical transformation, emotional, mental, it's all going to be spiritual, right? But we have to transform to go to our next level. That's part and parcel. And if some sickness and illness is part of that, then rather than make your body wrong for it or make yourself wrong for it, beat up on yourself, judge yourself, how about just love yourself with compassion and conscious awareness that you're going to your next level, so you're experiencing a clearing while you go to that next level. Clearings to your next level can look like ending of a relationship of sorts, or it could be an intimate relationship, a friendship. It could be a work relationship. It could be all sorts of different endings. There's all sorts of ways that we need to clear energetically to prepare ourselves to go to our next level. So I guess I'm just mentioning that to you as a little preface to today's training, because it's all very well and good talking about dreaming big and, what are your desires and really hooking into those and going for them. It's also just nice to have the conscious awareness that as we do go for them, we are moving energetically shifting up a gear. And so there will be a shifting, a reforming, a transformation of sorts from where we are to where we need to be. I just think it's good to know that. I didn't expect that before, as much as I know it. When I became so unwell a couple of weeks ago, it was a shock. I didn't expect it. I really didn't. Interestingly, the interview series was it came through me. It did not come from my head. It was such an inspired idea. It was a totally guided idea. I acted on something that felt really important and very deeply connected to the truth of who I am and what I'm meant to do. So it all came together with a lot of ease and grace. It was, bringing together 19 speakers from all different time zones all over the world, having them line up perfectly to make a perfect online conference for a week and have nothing go wrong and have it just all be beautiful. The fact that it happened so easily was proof that it was meant to happen. The fact that I could have a week off work the week before the interview series and be unwell and have that not affect the interview series, have me not be stressed. I had the time and space to be sick. The universe lined it up so that I didn't let anybody down. I know I might have let you guys down a little bit, not being able to show up for my Facebook Live, but at the same time, I was guiding you and sharing a lesson with you around self-love. Sometimes we can't be superhuman and we can't do everything, and we have to put our self-care first, which is what I did that week. But yeah, I was able to be sick for a whole week right before this massive interview series. It didn't matter. It just didn't matter. It didn't add more stress. It was okay. and I'm not just jabbering on here. Everything I'm telling you is really important to this training, because your desires are meant for you. They are meant for you. That my desire was to run that interview series. And the desire came from me being deeply connected to the truth of me. That's how that desire came to be. Now, if it was an egotistical or egocentric desire, it would have felt very different. It probably would have been a lot harder. Probably I wouldn't have been able to have a week of illness off and not get hellishly stressed about it. Probably things would have gone wrong. Probably I wouldn't have had such great speakers. Probably technology would have failed me, or people wouldn't have been able to show up in the calls or whatever. It probably wouldn't have been an experience of ease and grace, because I would have been probably trying to make something happen, if a desire is coming from ego, therefore it's not a desire, by the way. If it's coming from ego, it's usually going to feel quite hard, because the intention behind it is ego-based rather than love-based. My intention behind the interview series last week was to be of service. That was it. It was so pure. It was so full of love. It was being of service to myself, because I wanted to get educated about menopause, but I knew that all the women in the world needed this information, and I was guided to produce it. So I'm sharing this with you because when you start looking at desires, you can have a little voice come up in your head that says it's really egocentric and selfish to have desire, because who the hell do I think I am to do what I want, to have what I want, to put myself first, to really go for it? And then another little ego voice comes in as like, maybe I can't have that anyway. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy, right? But when our desire comes from a place of real truth, of real connection, of real, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. I need to do this. It feels like my life depends on it. Because if I'm not speaking my truth, if I'm not showing up authentically as the woman I am, then it feels like a death. It's like a mini death. It's like a soul death, right? When we're not doing that. And you guys who've been working your way through this book have done so much work to heal and dig through all the crap that has been sabotaging you and not serving your life. You've done so much work. And you've got a real sense of who you are. When you remove the sabotaging beliefs, when you remove the those sabotaging behavioral habits, when you get real clarity on the truth of you, when you do the work around your values, which was the last chapter. I didn't get to do a lesson on it, but I hope that you read that chapter on assessing what you value. When you really get in touch with who you are and what you value, then you naturally want to move to your next level. You naturally want to be of service in the world. You want to show up in the world as you, not as your conditioned self, right? Not as the woman that believed XYZ because mum and dad said that. And you clear that out and you choose your own beliefs and you take a stand for who you are, then you just have that beautiful experience, don't you, of showing up in the world just authentically. And it's so much easier when you're authentic. It just, life flows. Ease and grace follows. It's easier. Not that there aren't challenges. Last week, interview series, brilliant. Ease and grace, flow. Challenge before that, very unwell. So, I have challenges. But the challenges feel like a disruption as I'm transforming my current status quo to go to my next level. And it will be the same for you. Now, you as a spiritual being are always being called to go to your next level. Always. That is the nature of your spirit. It wants to evolve and expand and keep going to the next level. That's what it wants. And your spirit loves the excitement of doing that through your human experience. Loves it. Can't do it as a spirit. Needs the human to go and have these experiences. So you're totally being called to always go to your next level when you are tuned into your spiritual self. When you are always consciously every day checking in with the truth of you, knowing who you are, knowing what you value, your spirit is like, yeah, come on, what's next for us? What do we need to do next? Where do we want to go next? And your only job is to listen to that. Do you remember right at the beginning, one of the earliest chapters was looking at dissatisfaction and understanding that when you're feeling a bit edgy and uncomfortable and grumpy and grotty and a bit dissatisfied with life, that's actually your spirit going, dude, like, we're off track. This isn't the truth of you. Some healing needs to be done so that you can show up more you, so that you can feel more comfortable in your own skin. Or, this job really, is it really your truth, or are you more called to here? And what do you need to do to move from there to here? What needs healing? What needs transforming? When you get on that track, when you really wake up and get conscious, you will find that you are a desire-led being. You're an energetic being, so energy is always having to contract or expand, and we don't want to contract. That's a horrible feeling. We want to be expanding. So when you get on this, as you are, you're here, you're like nearly finished the book, right? Your spirit is desperate to be heard now, to go to the next level. And it will become, if it hasn't already become, and it's certainly the case for me, like I am desire-led every single day now. Desire-led. And desire-led from a place of real connection with my truth. Most of the time from a very loving place. I'm human, and sometimes my ego comes up, I'm not going to lie, and I have to check it out. The last month or so, I've been going through something really interesting. It's like a major ego deconstruction, where anything ego within me or external to me, other people, I'm very much on high alert to it and noticing it, and it's very uncomfortable. I don't like it. And our humanness is ego. That's being human, is having an ego. There's no getting away from it. And so our daily assignment is to move toward love within ourselves and with other people. But once you're on this path, like I can't go through any day without being desire-led and without checking in and understanding, okay, where's this desire coming from? Is it ego? Is it to get significance or approval? Am I looking outside of myself for love and acceptance in some way? Or is it completely pure and love-based? And is the desire going to take me to a place of joy and freedom and a lightness of being, in a place of being of service? There's a difference, isn't there? And I am desire led every day, and I'm checking it out every day. Like, what's this desire about? Is it love, or is it fear? Is it ego based? And we need to check it out. But even before we get to that stage, I feel like I kind of have rushed ahead a bit here, because you guys might experience what I'm about to say, and I know I still do sometimes too. And it's this idea of like lacking self-confidence, or lacking self-worth, or lacking self-belief that it's okay to even have a desire, to even put aside the time to dedicate to just tuning in to, well, okay, all right, let's just take some time. Who am I? What do I want? If I had that, how would that make me feel? So from how it makes me feel, is it love-based? Is it ego-based? Even taking the time out to kind of journal and go within and check out our desires can seem really selfish and egocentric. It can, or we can very easily put so much else in front of doing that, that suddenly another year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years have gone by and we haven't stopped to check in and ask, what do I want? What do I need? You know, because there could be a belief running the show that we're not worthy of it anyway, so what's the point of tuning into the desire? Or that it's selfish and I should really be putting my kids first, or my elderly parents first, or my job first, making money should come first, right? Like, we've got all these stories. And today, I guess what I really want to invite you to and encourage in you is to really take the time out to look at what you desire. You are a spiritual being. You need to keep evolving. Your spirit wants to talk to you. You have done so much work to clear out all the negative chatter and voices that have clouded the voice of your spirit for so long, for too freaking long. And you are now in a place where, quite frankly, you're being invited to the assignment of tuning into your desire every day and taking action on that. I really want to invite you to, if you've got any stories, any programming, conditioning, belief systems, any stories running the show that is not allowing you to love yourself enough to put yourself first, to sit down with your journal and just explore, what do I want? What's next for me? Then you've got to do the work to clear those stories, because you're not allowing yourself to have the life you're meant for if you don't take the time to explore you and explore what you want. I mean, one of the earliest chapters in the book was actually asking you, what's your life vision? Why are we going to do this, all this work? There's a lot of painful work in this book. Transformation can hurt sometimes. Why would you put yourself through that process if you didn't have a light at the end of the tunnel? Right? So earlier on in the book, I invited you to write your life vision. Now, it's quite possible that what you wrote then and your ideal life vision now is the same. I would suggest that I bet you're feeling a little bit braver now, a little bit more in touch with the truth of who you are, a little more unapologetic about who you are. And if you were to write your life vision now, it'll be a bit different. It will be a bit more daring. Definitely more unapologetic, definitely more of you, more authentically you, I bet. And I want you to do that as a piece of homework. I want you to sit down and look at all your life areas. They're all written in the book. And from memory, you're going to be looking at your career and finances, your intimate relationship, your friendships, your family relationships, colleague relationships. You're going to be looking at your health and fitness. You're going to be looking at your adventure in your life. You're going to be looking at how you're of service and contribution in the world. All these life areas. And I want you to write, what do I want for that next? What's my next level? I got up this morning, and those of you who follow me on Facebook might have seen it, or on Instagram. I did one of those fun kind of time-lapse videos of me doing some exercise this morning. So I was so inspired by the My Menopause series last week, and this idea that as soon as, I'm 43, I'm perimenopausal. I have got to really take care of my body now, really, more than ever. Through this stage of my life, 40s going into 50s, this is the time when we really need to condition our body, I learned last week, really condition our body, condition our bones, condition our muscles, really take care of our heart, get it pumping, but not too much that adds stress to your body, but enough that is, we've got to figure out what's good for you, so that we can go into the second half of our life without heart disease, without cancer, without all the horrible nasties that tend to come in the second stage of life. We don't need that. We don't want it. And so we've got to use this middle point to really get on top of our health and fitness. And so, that health and fitness is a real high value of mine. And this morning I started a new exercise regime, and I thought I'd share it because it was totally imperfect, but time lapse makes it look quite fun and funky and makes it look quite good. It actually made it look like I sort of knew what I was doing. I can assure you I didn't. I was sort of making it up as I went along. The count on all the different exercises I did were definitely out. I kept losing track because I was like out of breath and hurting. Yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was totally making it up. I think if you were watching me in real time, you'd have seen that. So the time lapse made it look a bit fun. So my ego likes that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that it was imperfect, because I was moving my body and it felt really freaking good to just move my body, to just use my muscles, to be outdoors in the sunshine, getting my heart rate up. I was on a high for a good couple of hours afterwards. I think I still am. It was brilliant. And why am I telling you that? Because so when you are doing your life vision and re-looking, you're going to decide, well, like for me, health and fitness, I'm always looking at my desires. Remember, I'm desire-led. Health and fitness, what do I desire for that now? I've been doing a lot of yoga the last couple of years. I still love yoga. I just came back from an amazing yoga retreat in Morocco. I really love it. And at the moment, I just feel like I kind of want to try something new. My desire around my health and fitness is shifting. It's shifting with this realization that I'm going through menopause, or perimenopause. So I want to change some stuff. There's some things I've always done that don't really work anymore. So I'm going to change that. There's some things around my diet that I've always done that don't really work anymore. So I'm going to change that. So I'm tuning into that piece. And you've got to do the same for all areas of your life. We're always shifting and changing and growing. And really, my biggest invitation to you, as I've already said, is if there's anything stopping you from taking the time out to stop and look at all your life areas and ask yourself, what do I want? Then please take a look at those stories. Take a look at what's stopping you or blocking you. Is it a self-worth piece? Is it a self-confidence piece? Is it a putting something other than you ahead of you? Do you need to love yourself enough to put yourself first? Take a stand for you. What's the piece? Do you need support with it? Do you need a coach? Reach out to me if you do, right? Like, what is it? That's my biggest invitation for you today, is to really just take time to tune into your desires, because by your very nature, your spiritual nature, you must be living this life in alignment with your desire. And I can assure you, when the desire is true, when it's coming from your heart and your soul and not from ego, it is meant for you. The second you name it, it exists for you. If you can collapse time and space, it exists for you right now, immediately. It's available to you. All you got to do then is, once you've assessed and decided on the desire, is to remove anything that's standing between you and it. And that's where there's going to be transformation. That's where there's going to be some energetic shifting. That's where you might get a bit sick, as I did a couple of weeks ago. Or you might find a relationship needs to end, or you might, they just could be, just shit could hit the fan. Things around you could get thrown up, and it's just all the nature of it. But you have to clear the blocks, do the healing, experience the transformation, whatever's required to go to the next level, to have the desire. I'm going to help you more with how to call in your desires in upcoming trainings. We're going to look at laws of attraction and manifesting and all that fun stuff. But first, you need to know what you're calling in. You need to know what the desire is. So that's really what today's chapter and teaching is about. I want to remind you that when you write your desires, to just feel into them. Like, how does that make me feel? Does it make me feel joyful and light and lifted and loving and of service? Or is there more a need for getting acceptance and approval and significance from the desire? Because if there is, then that's more ego-based, and I would challenge you to challenge the desire. Okay? Nothing's wrong, but what I know for sure is what's really meant for you will come to you so beautifully and swiftly when it's really in alignment with you, when it really is meant for you, when it really is your purpose, when it really is your next level, okay? And I think that's really the message for today. I don't know if any of you have any questions or want to leave any comments for me. Let me know if this is right. Remember, I can't see your face in the comments because of this discrepancy between Be Live and Facebook. I can't see your face or your name, so maybe just say your name and make your comment or ask me your question, because I would love to if I can. Okay, there's a question. How do you, from Jean, okay, great, Jean. How do you balance the ego side that needs money to pay the bills until you can fulfill a dream? Oh, darling, I hear you. Isn't that everybody's, like, isn't that the $1 million question? So we need money, period. The society we live in, there is no getting away from it. We need money, and I don't think you need to make yourself wrong for that, or even consider that that's egocentric. I mean, it's kind of it is a like a survival mode level. That question, that line of question there, it feels a little bit survival mode, like when you think about it. Okay, let's go back to, do you remember the chapter on the 6 human needs? And the first 4 human needs were for survival, and the final 2 around fulfillment and contribution were of the, okay, I'm getting my words mixed up. The final 2 were around fulfillment and contribution. So that's when life begins to feel like you're thriving. But the first 4 needs were needs of like survival. And we need money to survive. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. So it's almost like we do need to take care of ourselves financially. I actually think it's a very self-loving act to take care of yourself financially, to create. I don't like the word making money. That feels very masculine to me. I like to say I'm creating money because it feels very feminine. The feminine creates, the masculine makes. Remember, the masculine makes things happen. The feminine creates and receives. And the feminine also creates in conjunction with source energy in the universe. We co-create together. So I quite like looking at money as a creation. And I think it's a very self-loving act to create money to take care of yourself, to take care of your fundamental needs. You need a house. You need a roof over your head. You do. You need food on the table. You do. And we are freaking lucky to live in this first world country that we live in, this first world society, where we actually, those things are actually a given. And we need money to provide it. And you get to choose, like, if it doesn't feel good to be living in the 10-bedroom house and you need to scale down to a 3-bed, then do that. You know, that changes your income level. But you need money, and loving yourself enough to create the money is really important. So I'm not sure if you're making yourself wrong for that, but please don't make yourself wrong for that. And then trust that, yeah, how can I make money to pay the bills until I fulfill my dream? What do I want to say to you around that? Because I hear you, because I think this is my experience. This is every person I know's experience. The dream will come. And bit by bit, day by day, you're working and creating towards your dream. They don't have to be an either or. And what I see a lot in people is this idea that it's like a belief system that says I can have the dream when I have that much money. It's almost like I need this financial foundation in place first, and then I can have the dream. Quite a lot of us have that. It might not just be about money. It could be, you know, I need to have that relationship sorted before I can have the dream. Like I did this actually, Jean. I did this when I was single and I was looking for my guy. One of the things that was really blocking me to calling in my soulmates was this belief that I had to have my finances and my business at a certain level before I felt worthy enough of my dream, which was the man. That was a massive belief for me. I had to let that go. I had to let it go. Because the truth is, especially because we're egocentric humans, we can succumb to this idea that there's never actually going to be enough financial stability or enough business success. Like, we're always searching for the next level. Truth is, I have a beautiful business that I'm actually very proud of. And yes, it's always expanding and growing. Yes, it's always going to its next level. Yes, I have big dreams and desires for it. And I will always have big dreams and desires for it. So I kind of had to let that go. Like, I have to have X before I can have the dream Y. So you're saying I have to have money before I can fulfill the dream. I really invite you to just let that belief go. I really do. Love yourself enough to create the money you need to live. Totally. Just and kind of just release any stories around that. Just, I invite you to choose. Like, sometimes changing belief systems is just a choice. Like, I invite you to choose to be okay with it. Just choose to be okay with, I need money to survive. Yes, we all do. And trust that you are co-creating with the universe your dream and your desire. And that co-creation will, when you really have faith and trust, that will happen in a way that you probably can't even begin to expect right now. Like, I've had desires around calling in more people into my community recently. I wanted to call in more women to the School of Self-Love community. And I thought the route to doing that was Facebook ads recently, a couple months back, and it didn't work. It just didn't work out. I've had success in the past with Facebook ads. This time it wasn't. And it didn't feel good. It just didn't feel good. It felt quite ego. The process, like, it just wasn't feeling good, and it didn't work. And that felt even worse, right? It was a lot of money down the toilet, although I don't believe in mistakes. And then I was guided to create an interview series. I didn't figure that out. I was guided. Now, the desire was the same. I wanted more women. I wanted to call more women into the School of Self-Love community. That was the desire. The universe showed me, and I didn't expect this. It came to me in a way I couldn't have presumed. But the way to that, to really start speaking with women who really get me and who get this message and who are very conscious and evolved and awake and believe in self-love and know that transformational work is the route to living a bigger, better life. Who knew? But they're coming to me. My community has grown enormously in the last couple of weeks because of the My Menopause interview series. It's grown way more than the Facebook ads did. It's off the scale, massive difference. Now, I didn't know that was going to be the route to it. All I knew was when the Facebook ads didn't work, I was in a massive surrender mode. I was very trusting, and I held the faith that the universe knew my desire to build my community. It knew that. And I just held the faith. I created a lot of time and space for myself to just be, to not work, to not be in the masculine, to not push, to not force, to not make it happen. I really went into my feminine. I went into a place of really receiving guidance, being available to receive guidance. And it was hard because my ego felt like I'd failed and I'd lost a lot of money. A lot, by the way. But I held my faith, and that's what I invite you to do, Jean. Like, keep the faith, keep the trust. You're not doing this alone. When your dreams and desires are true for you, when they are deeply in connection with the truth of you, then you aren't calling them in on your own. You are co-creating with the universe. You're doing it together. So you have faith and trust in the co-creation process, and you allow yourself to be guided to making it happen. The universe knows you need money. The money will come. The universe knows I need money. I took time out to just be a lot the last couple of months, a lot. I haven't worked hard. Okay, I've just been being. I've been surrendered. I've been in a very much a receiving state. And I had to trust the money would keep coming, and it did. And would you believe a property sold that I had been waiting 9 years to sell? It actually completed on Friday last week. So as I was doing my final interview of the interview series, I had a message come through on my mobile from the solicitor saying it's completed and the money's going to hit my account, I don't know, today, tomorrow, next couple of days. Thank you, universe. What perfect timing. Right when I needed it most. I've waited 9 years. Right when I needed it most, it came. So we have to trust we will be provided for. And the journey to our dreams will happen with such ease and grace. And I keep using those words today, but it's so true for me right now. With such ease and grace when you're in alignment with your spiritual self. Because when you are co-creating. You're not doing it on your own. Helen says, Fab, Katie, the universe always helps us. Yeah, it really does. It really does. And our humanness has us forget that time and time again. I forget. But when I forget, I get on the phone to really support. My best girlfriend is also a phenomenal coach, and we support each other. I get on the phone and I'll, have a big whinge and I'll be swearing at God and I'm like, well, it's not working. And she'll remind me, and I do the same for her. And it's beautiful. I also have a coach, and I have my whinges with her, and I doubt myself, and I forget that I'm co-creating, and I just get stuck in my humanness, and I forget just how risen we all have the opportunity to be. And she reminds me too, and Jean says, thanks, very helpful, a new way of looking at money for me. Oh, great. If you want another new way of looking at money, then I can recommend the most amazing book. It's called The Soul of Money. I read it a couple of years ago. I'm actually reading it again at the minute. Oh my God, just the most powerful book, The Soul of Money. It will change how you think about and look at money for the rest of your life. It's incredibly humbling and a very inspiring read. And interestingly, a lot of the book isn't even about money. Except that it is. Anyway, check it out, The Soul of Money. It's just amazing. Anywho, ladies, I'm going to love you and leave you. I have my little man off school today. He was at school, but then there was, I think, everybody with this beautiful hot weather. Look at me, I'm in my little singlet top. This beautiful hot weather, everyone's using the water, right? Everyone's pouring water and watering their gardens and whatnot, using more water. And the local water exchange collapsed. And I don't know quite what happened, but it meant that that local community and the school had no water supply. So I had to go and pick him up earlier. So I'm sort of juggling him and catching up with my work after the last couple of weeks, sort of not being in my office. So I will love you and leave you. Thank you for joining today. I love working with you guys. I love teaching. I love talking about this stuff. I'm sure that comes across. And if you want support, you know where I am. You can email me directly, katie@theschoolofself.love. I'd love to receive your emails. If you want to call with me, we can book that in. It's an application process, and you have an hour with me, and we can explore what's going on for you. Let's get to know each other even more and explore what level of coaching support you might need, whether it's one of our School of Self-Love home study programs, whether it's one of our retreats, whether it's working privately with me. We can explore it, check out what you need. Because the thing with desires is you don't have to do it alone. And you're not meant to, because it is a co-creation. And the way you co-create often is a co-creation with the support of another person or a community of people. The Self-Love Hub, the School of Self-Love, is a community to support you. That's how I would really, my dream is that's how it gets used. I really want that support there for you. I think sisterhood is so important. And I believe you need the expertise of a coach like me. I have one, I've always got one, and because I've got big desires. And if you have big desires, whatever they are, remember I even hired a coach to call in my guy. I hired 2 coaches for that one, for that desire. Right? I got support. I didn't have to do it on my own. It was a co-creation. So whatever you're calling in, whatever you want, if you'd like support, I want you to consider an investment, not a cost. No such thing. It's an investment. And I'm here for you. So just to get in touch with me, Katie at theschoolofself.love. And if you want to apply for a call with me, I can send you the form that you need to fill out, and we'll take it from there. Okay? I love you guys. I can't wait to be with you again this time next week. Stay tuned on that, actually. I might have to shift next week's teaching because I've been booked to speak at an event in London on Tuesday and then an event in Bristol on the Wednesday. So I might need to just change our teaching session for next week. But watch this space. I will let you know. Okay? Love you guys. Mwah. Have a beautiful day. I hope it's sunny and gorgeous where you are like it is here. Okay. See you later. Bye.